blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time. That's my girl right there. Alrighty. Here we are.
Look, we about took a deep breath. We was like,
This week was trying. It was a trying week.
ooh, baby, I'm telling you, I thought I was a gangster this week, but baby, I got introduced to the 5th grade. You understand me? And I loved it. I'm proud of myself because I made it. They even want me to come back again.
That works.
I went today and did 5th grade today. I did 5th grade Tuesday. And I got asked today. They were like, can you please come back next week? We need a sub for the 5th grade. I was like, so I'll be there. So it's been a week. You know, I've been dealing with little children all week. And that's it. I had a good day. Pinky in there, hook it down. You know, all is well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I saw Miss Pinky on your Facebook profile. She is stretching out.
She's long.
Yeah, because I remember she was just a little munchkin, and now she's stretching out. Oh boy!
I mean, she's nothing but legs and arms. It's like, what happened to my little baby? Like, what happened? But yeah, I mean, children grow. You blink your eyes and they just start growing. It's so crazy, you know. I remember when her mom was that size. So, you know, sorry, y'all. I was trying to yawn. Don't know why. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Just getting up at 6 in the morning.
No, I feel you on that.
When I don't go to bed till like 1, since I've been working in this school, baby, I've been getting into bed by 12 o'clock. That's early for me. That's early. Okay.
Gotcha.
So I'm doing the best I can, as they say. And your day was?
My day was good. As you know, you may or may not know, Thursday is already my Saturday because of my work schedule is unique. But it was good. Got a lot taken care of and stuff. So it was a good day.
It was a good day. It was a good day. It was a good day, you know, and I thank God that it was a good day. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Indeed.
So let's get to these sponsors.
No doubt. So we're going to go ahead and start with our first one, which is the sweetest lime.
You see it, listen, in just a few weeks, you're going to see it again. Because she going to put her hands on me. Look. Yeah. Yes, wait. So listen. So we here at Crazy Carla's Concoctions Podcast, we love the sweetest lime, Makaya Mitchell. She is the bee's knees. She does my hair. She's been my therapist over the years, all those things. She is the natural hair guru. She does locks, natural hair. I mean, she does it all. She cuts, she colors, she does makeup. I know she's taking classes to do other things. So now that she's opened up her new location, she also has a massage therapist there, where my sister April is a massage therapist as well. And then she has nail techs. I mean, you can get the whole experience. So if you're in Winston, you can call her at 336-734-3307. You can hit the QR code there to go to her website and book her services. You can also go to the Sweetest Lime on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, and you can find her on Facebook at Makaya Mitchell. But when you seek her out, let her know that Carla sent you, okay?
Indeed.
Secondly, sorry about that. I had to look, Pinky threw me off. Look, yes, she raising her hand like she was school yet. Okay, your mom's coming, okay? All right. Second, we have intuitive readings by Myra. And it's just that, an intuitive reading by Myra. If you don't know what an intuitive reading is, it's when someone talks to you, they feel your energy, and then your energy tells them what they need to tell you. It's really dope. And I'm telling you, I highly recommend it because Myra be on point. You be like, what? You be feeling like somebody was in your closet spying on you like that. So if you want to get that experience, you could call her at 336-480-1653. She is also here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and has a brick and mortar location. You can hit that QR code if you're watching the show. Also, you can go to intuitivereadingsbymyra.com and book a virtual reading because she also does virtual readings. And I'm telling you, it's an experience worth having. So when you book her, please let her know that Carla sent you, okay? Now, Myra is so creative. She's not done there. She also has Made with Love by Myra. Now, Made with Love by Myra is her brand of shea butters, candles, oils, trinkets. She makes all kind of fragrances and things of that nature. She also has the soap line. Look at all the things she makes, y'all. She is so, I'm telling you, she is just she's a sweet person, but she's also one of the most creative people you'll ever meet. And she's really good at helping you be creative. So if you would like to buy from her, once again, she has the brick and mortar location. You can call her at 336-480-1653, or you could go online to Made with Love, by Myra.co, not com. Made with Love by Myra.co, and you can make your purchases there. And when you do, please leave a note letting her know Carla sent you, okay? All right.
Indeed. Alrighty, so
we back to the old days because my daughter did not understand when I said I'm podcasting tonight. Look, you see, y'all just go ahead and say, hey, Pinky. Okay, so Pinky want chips. Go in the kitchen and get the chips. They on the thing with the bananas. Go ahead. Okay, thank you. Now, see, Sugar always be on duty. Seem like. So this is one of the things about Crazy Carla's Concoctions. If you have watched it from the beginning, Pinky has always been on this show. She has been on this show since day one. And when we started out this show, Pinky was like 3.
Some like, yeah. Would that be right?
Yeah, she was 3. Because remember, she turned 4 in April. So she's been on this show since she was little.
Wow.
This is my 99th episode.
Indeed. Congrats.
I am so excited. Well, you're going to have to wait. I'm sorry. Sugar's doing her show. Go in and sit down, okay? So I'm drinking wine. Oh, you're going to have to wait till I finish doing what I'm doing, okay? Sorry. Now, our next guest, I've been trying to get her on here for the longest, okay? For the longest. And tonight, we finally get her on our 99th episode because that's how God works. She was supposed to be on here one time before, but we're going to talk about that because you know what? Life be life. And that's not what happened. So we said rewind, and here we are. So I'm just excited to say that I know quite a few of this lady. This lady is an anomaly in our world. It's not a lot of her. She is a black ballerina. She brought Misty Copeland here to North Carolina. She's done a black ballet about black women and their hair. And I'm telling you, it is one of the, when I tell you I boo-hooed so hard at this ballet because I felt all the feelings watching this ballet. It was a dream come true just to see it. And Some of my students fangirl over her. So, yeah, I'm going to introduce to some and reacquaint to others Miss Princess Howell Johnson. Right here. There she is with her cute smile and looking like she is 12 years old. And and I just love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, Princess. This is just like, I'm telling you, this has been in the makings for a while. And we finally got here because let me tell y'all something. This woman wears many hats. She's a mama, she's a wife, she's a business owner. Marlon, you cannot do that over here. Okay, go over there with that. Or when my daughter walked through that door. Holy Ghost. Now, what I was saying, as I drink my wine, because I call on them in good and bad times. I'm drinking this. What you drinking, Princess?
I got water.
And drink.
Hair Journey cup.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's sparkles. Yeah.
Now, do you have stuff for Hair Journey on sale? We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about it.
We do. I got on my tracksuit today.
Okay, one thing at a time, because I'm ready to just go hit the gas and no brakes. Okay, so first things first, Princess Johnson, Princess Howell Johnson.
Princess Johnson.
Okay, I'm sorry.
For shame.
Miss Princess, we're gonna say Mrs. Johnson. She is phenomenal at what she does. Okay. Now, the first thing we need to know is where you're from for all the folks listening, all the folks tuning in. Look, I got my red wine, girl. I'm ready.
Yes.
Where you from and where you at?
Okay, yes. I'm from Greensboro, actually, North Carolina, born and raised. Went to Dudley High School and also UNCG. So I have been rooted in Greensboro for quite a while. I lived near Charlotte for a little bit and in Richmond, and then I came back. So I've been here all my life, basically. And what else did you want to know?
That was it. That was it for right now. Okay. so you are from Greensboro, born and bred, and you didn't go far. So that intrigues me. I just want to know. I want to skip questions, but I'm gonna keep on task first. So you were born and bred in Greensboro. You moved to Virginia for a little while, and where did you attend dance school? How did you become a ballerina?
Oh, it's a backward story. I always tell people. So I did liturgical dance growing up in church, which is a common story for us Black people. The church was our studio.
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't have access to what the children these days have access to. And so my parents didn't put me in a dance studio. I choreographed. I started choreographing dances when I was 8 so that I could perform them at my dad's church. He was a pastor. And I was over the dance ministry, and oftentimes it was just me. And I might have had some other people, but mostly it was just me. So from there, when I was in high school, I joined the marching band, and I was a dancer and flag girl in the marching band. And then I joined a dance company at school, but still no ballet. I took a ballet class when I was like 5, and then I took one when I was like 8. But I didn't really start training, I tell people, until I was 18 when I started college at UNCG. Okay. But I actually hated ballet all through college. It's my least favorite class. I hated it. What drew me to ballet was when I went to Richmond. I got an internship working at Richmond Ballet, not as a dancer, but on the business side. So that's why I'm so business savvy. But I got an internship, and I got to work for this. At the time, they were a $40 million ballet company. And I had been a choreographer. I always wanted to choreograph and teach dance. And I got to work inside of this very successful ballet company. And one of the perks was we got to take free classes. Well, because they were ballet classes, they only offered ballet and a jazz. So I took all these, I just wanted to dance because when I had did a previous internship, I hadn't danced for 3 months. And I was like, I got free classes. I'm gonna take advantage of this. So I took the beginner, intermediate, and advanced class all at the same time. I was not an advanced dancer. I was kind of intermediate, but I was mostly beginner. So it was funny. It was like I would do really good in the beginner class. I was okay in the intermediate, and I just sucked in that advanced class. But I took it
Okay.
because it was free. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She would just help me, and it was a lot. I had a lot of repeat teachers, so they would see me in all the different levels, and they knew I had free classes, and I was just taking them. And then I also had a jazz class while I was there. But I just really fell in love with ballet. It was like one of them things where you really give it a real chance. I'm not getting a grade on it. There was no performances attached to it, so I got to really just love it for what it was. Just this movement, phrases, and it's very mathematical. It's lines. It's a very really different dance style than anything I had ever done. And I think that's just what drew me to it because I didn't have access to it, and now I did. And I just want to learn more and more because there's so much. It's so much depth to it. And so when I left Richmond Ballet, I started my dance studio, and I started Point when I was 29 years old. So I made my own dream come true.
That is off the chain. And you know, that's the kind of thing that I love to hear about because people really don't get that you are the determiner of what happens in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You really can manifest whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to take the steps. And then sometimes it's about being in the right place at the right time or meeting the right people or having the right thing happen to you. In your case, you went to go intern at this ballet company. You got the free lessons and you were like, wait a minute, what am I doing? It was like your aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Fun fact. Growing up as a little kid in the projects, that's how I was. I always thought I was going to be a dancer. When I was a kid, if you asked me what I was going to be, I told you I was going to be a dancer. So all the little kids in the projects and stuff.
I said I was going to be an actress, but you said you're going to be a dancer.
I always thought I was going to be a dancer or a rapper because by the time I got to high school, I just knew I was going to be a rapper. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and here I am. Neither one. But for years, I was able to take tap, ballet, jazz for free because my mom lived in the projects. And I love tap. Tap was my thing. I love tap. And then as we got older, I started doing contemporary jazz. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I loved the way it felt. I remember going to see Alvin Ailey as a child. And I was totally
over here.
I was so blown away by Alvin Ailey the first time I saw it. I cried just like I cried at your ballet. When I tell you I was on that row, boo, who ugly crying. And my sister then was like, looking like this just how she is. I can't help myself. It was so beautiful. It was just so beautiful because I've never seen our story told like that. Because all Black women, our hair is really a journey.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
And you went through all the journeys, especially if you were a little Black girl growing up in the South. Baby, you went through my hair is, well, some people never had nappy hair, but you talked about that too. Some girls have the good hair, but then there were those of us who were subjected to the good old straightening cone. Okay.
Yeah.
And in my case, I grew up going to church. Our Sabbath was Friday sunset to Saturday sunset.
Oh,
So
okay.
Friday night, my grandma and them was pulling out that hot comb, as they call it. And I used to dread Friday nights because I knew.
I know.
And the way I sweat in my sleep, I was like, am I going to make it to say, look, there are so many pictures of me, child, coming up. I had the little nappy hair. I was the little nappy-headed black girl in a family of people who didn't have nappy hair. So there was that, and I just love how you beautifully told that story, because Black women, because we are so diverse, there are so many different stories but all of us, whether you are, and you can't say light skin to dark skin because hair doesn't work that way.
No.
I have light skinned friends who have hair thicker than mine. I have dark skinned friends who have the quote unquote good hair, the wavy lay down hair. So it has nothing at all to do with that. But being a Black woman, we all have a hair journey experience.
Yeah.
If you are of a certain age, especially if you are a 70s, 80s, or 90s kid, you were subjected to certain things because your parents, most of us, wanted you to have a European type of hair construct, whether it was your construct or not, if you had the parents. Now, my father, he was very Black Panther, very Rastafarian. He was into that thing, and my mother was very Southern church belle. So he would always tell me, I'd be glad when your mama just let you grow your hair out your head the way it's growing out your head. He would say stuff like that. But that was not what was going to happen. She was putting perms, jerry curls, you name it, straightening combs, because my hair was unruly. Right. And when I saw your play, it was so life affirming for me as a Black woman at 51 years old. And I looked around and everybody around me was damn near in tears or crying. That was Black.
There were a lot of tears in rehearsals too.
Because it was so powerful. And the scenes with the mother and the daughter.
Yeah.
How did you come up with it? What made you think to do this play?
So, I think this was just bubbling up inside of me over time, and then it just birthed itself. It's the best way I can describe it. When I started my dance company, I used to just create from me being a human. I never wanted to make things about Blackness. I grew up in a basically 98% Black high school. There was one Asian person and in my graduating class, the rest of us were Black. I think maybe another white person. I don't know. We were Black.
Now, for those people in listening land or who don't know North Carolina, Dudley High School is a historic Black high school in this state. Like, it was one of the high schools that was around when Black people had nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
And it's still here. And it's still predominantly a Black school.
Yes. And a very excellent school that produces excellent kids, no matter what the media tries to sell to people. It has the same problems as any other school. But I tell you what, the people that are at the top, they rise up to be some really amazing, incredible people. And so I'm very proud of my high school, Panther Pride. But
that's wonderful.
I think I didn't, I think I took it for granted, just being around my culture so much in my life. My self-esteem was so built up, and we had never been served this Black is inferior complex. And we didn't deal with racism. We just dealt with we had like a normal childhood compared to other Black people that grew up in white spaces. We didn't know. Well, I didn't. I mean, I had in fourth grade, I went to a school that was predominantly white, but that was 1 year of all this time. Went to Fraser and then Allen and then Dudley. It was Black people all around me my whole life. And so when I graduated, I was like, I don't want to go to A&T. I already had an A&T experience in high school.
Right.
White UNCG.
Right. And that's okay.
So I went to UNCG, and also UNCG had my major and A&T did not. And my top school that I wanted to go to was in Virginia. And my mom was like, we're not doing out of state tuition. So I had to go to UNCG. Where was I going with this? What was the original question? Oh, no. I'm telling you where it came from. I know you're like, what?
No, keep going. I love it.
I got through UNCG, and then I got through my internships, and it was like my life. I didn't realize I was navigating life as a Black person in a white world. So I didn't see what white people saw. I just thought, I still blend in because I always blended in life. And so I was very oblivious to institutional racism and just racism in general. If somebody did something, I assumed they did it because I look really young or because I'm a woman. Race was never even in my mind as to why I might be struggling with stuff. And it could have been a mixture of all of that. I don't know. So once I started my dance company, I just wanted to create from my humanness. And so I created a trilogy about dreams, about dreaming, going after your dreams, manifesting those dreams. The first one is called Journey to Become. The second one is called Bloom. And the other one is called Never Lose Your Momentum. And then I created a Christmas show. I created something about infertility, just things that humans need. And by 2017, the dance company I started was struggling, and I couldn't figure out why. And I'm like, okay, I have worked on me. I have worked on the company. I've done all this internal stuff. So now it's time for me to look externally. What could be impacting us externally? And I started doing research, and I was learning about the disparities in funding for nonprofits of people of color and of Black people, the ones that are led by us, and how we were not getting as much funding from individual support, from business support, and even public support. And the thing that really bothered me was the public support, because we as citizens, our taxes and things like that, they go into these funds, which are supposed to go back. But then these funds are only funding white arts institutions. And so then our stories are not getting told on a large scale. And so that bothered me. So in 2017 to 2020, I was going hard being an arts equity advocate. And of course, George Floyd got murdered. All of a sudden, there was a turn in a tide, and funding started going to more organizations of color and more Black organizations. And so fast forward to 2021, I'm pregnant. I was actually 7 months pregnant, and I have a girl on the way. And I'm thinking about how I never really learned how to do hair. And I'm like, that's going to be interesting. And I'm just sitting there one day, and I take out a pencil. I wrote this story with pencil and paper, and I just wrote it. When I say I wrote it, I probably wrote it in 5 minutes. It was crazy. I just sat here and wrote this whole story. And then after I wrote it, I'm like, oh my God, I just wrote this story called The Hair Journey. And she's like, what? So I'm telling her the story. My niece is like, I want to be in it. And I was like, I know, right? It's good, right? They're like, yeah. And then I called my friend Ron, and I was like, can you make me some ballet music? And he's like, well, I'm not a composer, but I'm going to find you one. So he helped me find a composer. I called my mom. I called one of my dancers, and her daughters were in the car, and they're like, oh my God, The Hair Journey. And my thing was, I knew when the pandemic hit, I told myself, I was like, when things like this happen, this is when artists rise up. This is when we can be the most creative.
Right.
And I knew I wanted to do something big that birthed something big out of the pandemic. And this was my something big. And I wanted specifically to have certain things happen in this ballet that I saw happen at Richmond Ballet. Richmond Ballet had an orchestra. Well, I'm going to have an orchestra. Richmond Ballet had a costume shop and original costumes. Like I could walk into the costume shop and they're making the costumes, they're dyeing, they're doing, and I was like, well, I want that too. Richmond Ballet had lots of dancers on stage. They actually have hundreds of dancers on stage. I was like, I'll just take a portion of that. Richmond Ballet had original music composition. I was like, I want that too.
Yes.
And I wanted all of it done by Black people. So I formed this Black production team. Black composer, Black woman composer, Black director, Black stage manager, Black music director, Black costume designer. And I wrote out a grant and I put in the grant application. I'm doing this because I see so many ballet companies that are historically white get funded for all of this. So now I'm coming to you, telling you that we don't get to tell our stories at this caliber. And it's time to support this happening at this caliber. So it's important to me that it was just ridiculously big for us. It's not even, we're just doing a fraction of what these white ballet companies do. A lot of them have like hundreds of dancers on stage, hundreds of people in the orchestra. We just had 16 people in the orchestra and like 22 people on stage. That's huge for us, but for them, that's just a drop in the bucket. So I just wanted to do something radical and revolutionary. And the thing that popped into my head was our hair. It's our hair. Like, if you're going to write a ballet, it should be about hair. And it just poured out onto the paper. It just so easy. Now, that was the easy part. Getting it to the stage, that was hard.
I am seeing you with goosebumps because you were pregnant. It was the pandemic. You're a Black woman who had a wake-up call because you had been in this delusional state of happy Blackness.
I was.
And I've heard that from people like my ex-husband is born and bred in Atlanta.
Right.
And so he would tell me, he was like, I didn't even realize until I left Atlanta how it was other places. Because when you're from Atlanta, it's a Black city of excellence. No matter what people tell you, everywhere you look, depending upon what part of Atlanta you're from, all you see are Black people doing it all the time, doing it big, doing it. You know, even if you're from the projects, you still know, because you live in this marvelous Black city, that Black people are doing it, right? But if you're somewhere from like Winston-Salem, North Carolina, right? I mean, like, being honest, like I moved here when I was right before I turned 14. And I was like, oh, this how they do it here. Okay. You know, and it's different.
Right.
It's really different. But the thing about the Triad is this is an arts-centered place. Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point is heavy on the arts. But what you said rings true. A lot of minority arts, ballet, things of that nature. That's why we have the International Black Theater Festival here, because there wasn't a place for us, right? And you had to make your own lane. And just hearing about how you were carrying life inside you, which is something else we're going to talk about, because that was a journey as well.
It was.
And I've heard you talk about what it took for you to be a mama. So you are like living in the middle of manifesting your dreams.
Yeah.
Carrying the baby that you spoke to be. And God downloaded.
I always
Your
say,
ancestors
yeah,
downloaded. But
that's
I'm
what I
telling
was
you what it was is that baby.
like, here you go. I was like,
People don't realize when you're pregnant, it's like you're wide open to receive all kind of stuff from the universe. That's why you got to be careful when you're pregnant about who you let touch you, who you let be around you, because you're receiving all this stuff because that baby has opened you up. I'm telling you, I know, I'm speaking firsthand. You came up with this life-changing ballet. So we're halfway. We're going to go to our artist of the week because I know Troy going to kill me if we don't go ahead and get to it. So this is the time you can break away. I'm going to go see why my granddaughter keep calling my name.
oh,
My daughter just texted me and said I'm on the way, but she told me that 2 hours ago.
ooh.
This is what happens. And then when I say I'm not keeping anybody on Thursdays, I'm the wicked witch. But I asked you nicely, please come get your child before my podcast starts. She done cooked on the oven. I was trying my best to mute the thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, you are fine.
But this is real life when you have little people in your house. And you know full well, they do not follow the script. People like, you should do this, you should do that. That works well for people who just, see? Pinky, wait a second. Okay, we're going to go to the halfway mark.
All righty. Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and we are sponsored by Blast Radio 247. We are the champion of independent music. If you want to hear independent music from all around the world, you can go to blastradio247.com and tune in. Tonight, we have an amazing artist. She's in Dallas, Texas. Her name is An Sharia, and this is her song called So Lost. Check it out.
So lost in you.
That was Ann Sharia with So Lost. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're a fan of great music, you too can go to blastmusic247.com, register as an unlimited fan, and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry one artist at a time. All right, Miss Carla, back to you.
Thank you. She said she is lost, baby. You understand?
This is my nighttime snack.
That's okay. Look, my grandbaby was getting hangry. That's why y'all kept hearing my name being called. Now she eats like a Pac-Man video game. She eats out from the moment she walk in my door, she's eating. And now, what? Okay, you gotta tell your mama she'll be here in a little bit. Can I please go back to doing my show? Thank you. Go in there, eat your chips. Thank you. I'm sorry. So, as y'all can see, she said, I'm so lost. Who's ever been there? Anyway. Snacking is good. That has helped me to lose weight because I was a person who would not snack. And my doctor told me that was part of my problem with losing weight because I would eat breakfast and then not eat again until late at night, and then I went overboard. I wanted to eat everything like a Pac-Man video game. So when you snack throughout the day, it keeps you from overeating. And I didn't realize that was a thing, until I started Weight Watchers years ago and got myself on board. But now, we're going to switch gears. One thing I didn't ask you that I asked all my guests. What's your zodiac sign, Mama?
I'm guessing I'm Gemini, but my mom would tell you it's Jesus. I asked her when I was in middle school. I asked her when I was in middle school. She's like, it's Jesus.
She don't want you to be like, I know that girl like drinking wine asking my baby about the zodiac. She is. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm the church girl that believes firmly in the zodiac. Now, I don't believe in it for telling the future, but I do firmly believe in it for telling you how we act and things of that nature. It's a thing. And it's not just the zodiac like what people think. It's very Afrocentric, African-based, very spiritualistic. It's very much, even people don't even realize the 12 disciples come from astrology. But I ain't gonna start that. I ain't gonna get the church folks stirred up.
It wasn't even really just 12, so yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm Gemini. I'm June 7th. Me and Prince share the same birthday. We're the same height. And both of our company colors are purple for royalty.
So are you obsessed with Prince like every other Gemini I know? Lord Jesus!
Obsessed with Prince.
I have never met
every
a
time
Gemini.
I create something, I'm like, I hope Prince will be proud. My one life dream was to meet Prince and ask him if I could choreograph about a Purple Rain ballet. I've been wanting to do it ever since I saw the movie in college.
But you should still petition his estate because you never know what they might say.
Yeah, and I was going to do that because we have 1 degree of separation. Shelby J, who is she went to Smith, but that's okay. She's still cool with me.
Right, Greensboro down.
That's
I was born in Greensboro as well. I'm a Greensboro girl. I was born in Greensboro.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So anyway, so I had pitched it to her. She thought it was a cool idea, but then I heard that they're going to be doing Purple Rain on Broadway. So now I'm kind of like, I'm not that interested anymore. I'll go see that though. I'm gonna go see it, and I do want to go to his estate.
Well, maybe if you wouldn't do Purple Rain, maybe you should do something abstract like Raspberry Beret or Alphabet City, because those were dope.
Yeah.
And I can see that being played out as a ballet, especially Raspberry Beret.
Over like actual places and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
I loved his last his last album before he passed, Artificial Age. That was really good. It's really good. So anyway, I'm obsessed with Prince. I was not allowed to listen to anything but gospel all throughout my childhood. So I didn't start growing a palette for any other music until I was in college. And my ex-boyfriend at the time introduced me to Prince. And I was just like, and then we watched Purple Rain, and I was like, oh. And then I found out me and this man shared the same birthday, this beautiful man. And I was like, oh. And his name is Prince, and I'm Princess. Like, I'm so obsessed.
How kismet. That's wild, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's by coincidence. Everything is divine time. And I tell people this all the time. If you've ever watched my show, all 99 episodes, I talk about divine timing.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about how everything is divine.
Oh, guess when I was born?
Girl, when?
1984. 40 years. His Purple Rain celebrated 40 years the year I turned 40.
I just want y'all to understand who y'all fooling with, okay? But she just told you. She just ran it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's show some pictures of the Miss Princess. Troy. Now look at there. Y'all, this was when we went to go see the hair journey, and she was looking like a cold fox.
I have to shout out Raisha Emerson Cook. She was my hairstylist and makeup artist. She did that.
Honey, she was in there with them legs out. I said, baby, if my legs look like that, baby, when I tell you the trouble that would be in the land. Look at there. I could, yeah. It ain't gonna look like that, but I can get it up there, I guess. It just ain't gonna look, it ain't gonna look graceful like that, I don't think. What's the next picture, Troy? Now, y'all, look at this. Now, what was this part of the hair journey?
It was, and you guys didn't get haze in Winston-Salem. When we did the show in Greensboro at UNCG Auditorium, lighting designer added haze effect, so it looked like a cloudy, stormy day.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't remember this part. That's why I was like, what's this?
This is the cloud scene before Zuri gets rained on.
Oh, y'all should put that back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next picture. This part right here. Oh, I just love
Weave Kingdom.
And one of my babies was the hairstylist on there. I see him standing over there on the left-hand side. I love that baby. That's one of my babies. I call him one of my babies.
All of these costumes went from paper to dancer. She drew them out and they came to life. And our hair coordinator had to coordinate almost 30 wigs throughout the show. She was switching wigs on our heads and headpieces and accessories.
But the hair and the hair pieces were fire. I was like, what? I just kept having reactions. Okay. Oh my God. And then Morgan helped with this show too, didn't she?
Yes, Morgan Flower Child Jones was our director. And she would come from Atlanta about once a month or once every other month to come work with the dancers on acting and also help us with blocking and scene changes.
Man, there's no way you could have even fell down with this between the two of y'all. And then you had my girl Angie Housey back there running things behind the scenes.
Yep, she was our stage manager, and she made sure them sets got on and off and made sure the dancers were where they were supposed to be.
She does not play.
By the time it got to showtime, I didn't have anything else to do. All I had to do was choreograph, raise the money, sell the tickets, and then sit down and enjoy the show.
And you know what? Ange did my first comedy show for me. She was my manager. She's done plenty of plays that I've been attached to. There's nobody else. When I tell you, I'm gonna give her a shout out, Angel Housey. Okay, from Buffalo, New York, living here in the Triad, is one of the dopest stage managers that anybody can find anywhere on the earth. Do you understand me? And she makes it go. Okay, so what's the next picture?
This
Look
is
at this.
seeing some of the cast. In the back, that's Ron. He was our music director. He directed the 16-piece orchestra. And he found all of our orchestra were all Black instrumentalists. And they played violin. I was like, I want a harpist. He found me a harpist, and she was Black and she was beautiful. Oh my God. He worked very, very hard. And then they not only played live at our show, he had them record the sound so that the live orchestra could be played at the show when we had it in Winston-Salem as well.
It was amazing. It made me cry. I mean, y'all, if you love ballet, you will love this ballet. Next pick. Look at this.
It's Queen Niwele, Queen of the Land of Frogs and Froze. And this girl to the right of the queen with her hair sticking straight up, that's Caprina. I recruited her for her hair and her energy. She was not a dancer. Look at all that energy.
Wow, she was getting on, honey.
If you heard somebody yelling yay, 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 during the show, she was so into it. She did a phenomenal job.
Oh, girl, I'm gonna be in one of your ballets one day. I don't care. I'm gonna be the oldest ballerina you have on the stage.
Our weave queen was 48, and this year we have someone over 50 who will be in our Land of Lots and Froze.
I love that Land of Lots of Froze. Set me, girl. You know I was in there crying like a baby. Let me tell you, y'all, this show is phenomenal. Next slide. Look at there.
Yes. So we have a children's show, and we do have tickets that are $10. It's a shortened version of the show, but you still get to see some really amazing scenes. And this is actually powered by Lincoln Financial. And they are allowing us to be able to sell tickets for $10, but it's a limited amount. So when the tickets go on sale, which is April 1st, run, don't walk, and get those $10 tickets. You have to contact me to get the code though. So you gotta contact me. And the whole production is all, we have 5 shows that we'll be doing actually, June 26th through the 28th. And it's sponsored by the Community Foundation and also the North Carolina Arts Council.
And she also has a QR code there, as you can see. Y'all, these tickets go on sale April 1st. I want y'all to just show Princess how much y'all love Black ballerinas, Black art, Black foundations, Black grant. Because this, I want to say it so bad, but I ain't gonna. The way that this new system is going forth. One thing about us, we're resilient.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how to do what we do. Your help is great, but we know how to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to sow into Princess Howell Johnson and this fabulous hair journey. I want you to run and take your children. And it's not even that. I think older women will be women impacted by it than the younger women will, because we went through every scene in this play. If you are a woman of a certain age, and I'm also going to speak to my transgender community and friends who also experienced this, y'all. So let me tell you, Princess, thank you for this show, because this show really, and look, if you want to give, they're having a fundraiser right now. Tell them about that, Princess. The banner's running.
Oh, thank you. So we have a campaign that we launched in August 2023 to prepare to move, and it got disrupted when we had to move because the fire department pushed us out of our building. So we knew we wanted to move, but we wanted to move at a certain date, and that got pushed up 6 months. So we have this campaign that is still going. We already moved, but there's some things that we got to do in the space to finish preparing it for dance. We need new flooring. We need rolling mirrors, and we need some divider walls so that we can split one of the rooms that we have, so that we'll have more room for our dancers. Yeah, and it's just been a lot because when we moved, our rent tripled. And there's something that everyone needs to know about Greensboro. Greensboro arts community, most of it is housed in the Greensboro Cultural Center. There are 18 organizations that are housed there that receive rent for free and also utilities. They don't pay it. They get to run their business without having the pressure of making rent month after month. Of those 18 organizations, 15 are white-led. The other 3 are people of color. So that automatically elevates white-led organizations, and it leaves us having to find somewhere to go. When we find somewhere to go that is brick and mortar, we have to pay the bills. The city does not pay the bills for us. So this campaign is to help us be able to have a space to teach our dancers, to rehearse, and also to be a hub and a space for other people to use. When we moved into this space, we actually started a for-profit called Dream Space. And the goal is for this space to become a performing arts space. Right now, we host a lot of parties and events, so it is available for that as well. But yeah, when you donate, you're helping keep us alive, keep us going. We have $45,000 more to raise in order to maintain and sustain where we are now, since moving has moved us into a totally different income bracket. And I mean, really, we had to file a different tax form this year. And I had to, do a lot more work on that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Princess, I really want people to understand that you really care about kids who dream of being ballerinas.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of kids who look like us, all the way down to cream and your sugar, all the way to jet black, to the black and brown girls and boys who want to dance and they can't afford it and they don't have anywhere to go and things of that nature. You are providing a haven for these children, for these young adults, for these adults that are even taking your classes. If I lived in Greensboro, I'd be right there. I mean, and it's not that Winston's that far, but you know how it is when life be life. And
my parents live in McClainsville, and I still be like, "Woo, we gotta go all the way."
Yo, hush. So McClainsville is a journey. You understand? Okay, it really is.
Exit 132, boy. Woo.
Girl, my cousins went to Northeast Guilford, except for my cousin Jeanette and David. They went to Dudley's. They graduated in the early 2000s. So my father went to Dudley. My Uncle T.Y. went to Dudley. Dudley has been around a long time. Okay. Okay. And yeah. And I just want to thank you for coming on here. Now, real quick before we get off, because I wanted you to touch on, we got 5 minutes. Infertility.
Oh.
You're also an advocate for infertility. Tell the people why.
Yes. So when my husband and I got married, he wanted children right away. I wasn't even sure if I wanted children. Because I was just so driven to build my business, and children are expensive. So I was still on the fence, but 2 years into our marriage, I got off of birth control and I was like, I still didn't know if I was ready, but I was like, I'm gonna get off the birth control and whatever happens, happens. Well, nothing happened. And nothing happened for 7.5 years. And so I had asked him probably at about year 5 or 6, I was like, this was another thing I think God was like, you got to do this. I was depressed. I was dealing with anxiety issues. And a lot of stuff was hitting at the same time. At this point, I'm fed up with the arts ecosystem and this disparity and the inequities, and I can't even get pregnant. Like nothing was working in my life. And my husband, he had a seizure disorder. So we were dealing with that at the time. So it was just like chaotic. And I'm like, something's gotta give. So I had this idea to help me kind of like express myself, to do a show called Misconception. And it's a common misconception that it's easy to get pregnant. And so I put a play on the word conception, and I put miss in parentheses in front. Because, when we're in high school, they're like, don't have sex, you're going to get pregnant. And so
I'm the opposite end of you. If you even breathe on me, I will be pregnant.
Right. So that's what we really believe. So I'm like, okay, this should have been easy. Why are we not getting pregnant? Like, what the freak? So it was very, and we weren't really talking about it. Shane wasn't talking about it. I wasn't talking about it. So this just opened us up to have a conversation with each other, for me to really think for myself. I told my fertility story, but I also told 2 other ones. I told one of a mom who had a child, got pregnant real easy, and then they wanted another child. She never could get pregnant again. She had secondary infertility, something that people don't even know is a real thing. So sometimes when you meet people and they have one child and you're like, when y'all gonna have a sibling? Y'all gonna have another baby? And they're like, well, dang, we've been trying and we can't. Like, so that happened to her, and they ended up going foster to adopt, and they adopted 2 more children. So we told that story. And then we also told the story of another mom who had miscarriage after miscarriage. She had like 9 total. And she ended up having 2, she was able to have 2 children. And so we were just telling these different journeys of fertility that women have, that are not just like, I had sex and now I'm pregnant. It was like, no, I had to go through all this to have my kids, and just to raise awareness, because people say some really hurtful and harmful things and they don't realize it. And they think that it's okay. Like so many times people were asking me and Shane, when were we going to have a child? And I wanted to kick them. Like,
I'm sure.
Like, it was hard, but this helped me learn how to find my words around it and how to express myself. And what we did is we actually did interviews and had them tell their story, and then we overlaid music over it, and then we danced to the words and the rhythm of the music to make it a visual storytelling, is basically what it was. So it was really cool. And then after the performances, we had a panel with the people who were telling their stories. People got to ask them questions. And then we also invited healthcare professionals, a gynecologist, a mental health professional, adoption agency, like all kinds of different people were there that people could ask them questions and get resources. And from there, one of my friends came from college. She came all the way from Asheville to see my show because she was also dealing with infertility. And she came up and gave me a hug, and we talked for a little bit, and she went on home, but she sent me a message a few weeks later, and she was like, I'm about to start this job at Starbucks. If you work part-time, you get insurance, and their insurance covers infertility. Join this Facebook group. So I joined the group and I applied for the job, and I started working in October of 2019. And you have to work there at least 3 months for your insurance to kick in, but you have to have a certain amount of hours. So it would be October, November, December. I didn't have enough hours. So I had to do January, February, March. My insurance kicked in. Do you remember what was happening March 2020? My insurance kicked in literally right before the pandemic hit.
I just got chill bumps. Okay.
I tell you, I had scheduled my appointment like a couple of weeks before everything shut down. And I'm so horrible with scheduling appointments. I'm so bad. I put it off so much. But I called, like as soon as I got the insurance paperwork, I called and scheduled my appointment. And I was referred to Dr. Yasin Kaya by one of my cousins who's a gynecologist, and she interned with him. And she was like, his rate is like crazy. He always gets people pregnant. Go to him. And she told me, go to Dr. Cousins. So I followed her plan for my life. And I made these appointments. And sure enough, everything shut down. And I'm like, don't know what's going to happen. They called me and they were like, so here's what we're doing. If you would like to stay on, we're keeping anybody that had an appointment on. We're not taking any new ones, but we are keeping. And they thought, so what would you like to do? And I was like, we're going to take it one day at a time. So I just kept coming to my appointments. I would double mask. I was still working at Starbucks so I could keep the insurance. And we turned to drive-through only. And I would just go to Starbucks, go to my appointments. I had to start doing the shots. And Shane had started working from home, so he was able to give me my shots. And we got pregnant with the first round, but then I miscarried. And then the next month I got pregnant again. And this was 2 embryos. He wanted me to do 2 the first time. And I was like, no, because if we have twins, I'm going to cry. I was like, I still did not know if I wanted kids this whole time. I just knew that this was something that my husband wanted for sure. And I didn't know what I wanted. And sometimes you don't know, if you don't know, like I'm married to him, this was something I was willing to do because I'm the woman. I have to carry this child. So anyway, fast forward, I know I'm over my 5, but anyway, we get pregnant and you know how you get your, I think it's your numbers, you know, your levels or whatever. And they were off the charts. I was like, Shane, we about to have us some twins. I was looking at him like, I'm going to hurt you. I have to birth 2 kids and raise them. So we went in for an appointment and she just kept saying, the baby. And we're like, well, where's the other one? She's like, there's not another one. I only see 1 sac. And we're like, well, we transferred 2 embryos. And so we learned that was what you call a vanishing twin. So Naomi was supposed to be a twin, but her personality is larger than life. So I'm sure that other baby is still with us by way of Naomi.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal. Mm-hmm. She is just a sweet baby. I love her. Yeah. And she's just such a combination of you and her father. And she is, and I love it. And I love that God gave you her, and I'm glad that your ancestors watch over her. And she's definitely a gift, right? So this has been great. Can you tell the people how they can, we're running the banner. For those of you in listening land, you can go to http://givebutter.com/let's move RE. All right. And if you get an opportunity, just go on and catch it. You'll see the banner running on the replay. You can see that. Tell the people how they can reach you, Princess.
Yeah. So I am on Facebook and Instagram at Princess J Loves Ballet. And you can also follow our company at Royal Expressions and keep up with all the things we're doing. We have the production company, but we also do classes for students, and we do partner with outreach organizations to offer dance offsite and other places as well. Yeah.
Y'all, please help this beautiful company. Please help this beautiful lady. Please help the children who are waiting, the adults who are waiting to get what she has to offer. Okay. And also, Jackie Renee Pippins had her 50th birthday party there, baby. And we had awesome time. We had a time. So remember, you can rent out her event space also.
That's called Dream Space Greensboro.
Dream Space Greensboro. You heard that? So
And I just booked a fashion show will be in our space. So this will be our first production that is happening in the space outside of the ones that we do. We have our recitals here, but we're really excited to host a fashion show. And then I just got a call for a comedy show from someone who does comedy shows up and down the coast. He's like trying to break into the Greensboro market. So we're going to start having some little things popping over here at the Dream Space. So Monday through Thursday, we teach dance classes. And then Friday through Sunday, we turn into a whole
different vibe. Yeah. Party central.
And then we got
So we was in there with the casino games and everything, baby. We had time.
It was fun. That food was
I ain't gonna talk about what it, look, we had a good time. What happened in the Royal Expressions happens at the Royal Expressions. Now listen. I thank you, Princess. You're the best. I thank you for coming on. I can't wait to show the students. I'm like, here she is. I told y'all I knew her. And it would be cute if I could get some of the parents to bring their daughters again. And my grandbaby just keep talking to me, y'all. She can't help it. Because that's what children do. They talk to their adults, right? So, and I'm grateful for her because I'm also participating in a walk this year as a speaker for preeclampsia because Pinky and my daughter are preeclampsia survivors. That's how she got her name. She came out blue like a Smurf because my daughter had preeclampsia and nobody caught it until it was labor time. And her uterus literally disintegrated. And Pinky had went without oxygen and they didn't know for how long. And when she came out, she was blue and not breathing.
Oh, goodness.
And when the way I was praying, them nurses said I was talking in tongues. Girl, I started talking in tongues. I was praying so hard. My baby turned pink. I saw her literally go from blue to pink.
Oh, wow.
And I've been calling her Pinky ever since.
Oh, wow.
And she is one of my greatest blessings in life.
Yeah.
My grandbaby. So
I always tell people, as hard as it was for us to get pregnant, I had the easiest pregnancy and the easiest delivery. I went in at 10 and I delivered her at 1. And I pushed her with no meds because it was too late. They were like, oh, girl, you can't have no meds. You have dilated 8. You're at 8 now. You went from 1 to 8.
I would have. No.
I had no symptoms except for a belly.
I had all C-sections. I had toxemia.
Yeah, she barely even moved. Like, and you see how she is now. But she was a very still baby. I just knew I was about to get me a little shame. But no, she's hyper.
Who'd you get that from?
That's from me.
Okay. Well, Princess, thank you so much for being on episode 99. Troy has to run to his other podcast. Troy, I love you. I thank you. We went over a little bit, but we started just a little bit late. So, I want to get it all in there. But if you're watching out there in the land, if you're listening, I thank you so much for tuning in to episode 99 of Crazy Carla's Concoctions. Y'all, my next episode is my 100th episode. Princess, thank you so much. May God continue to bless you. May the ancestors continue to walk with you and give you your heart desires. And may that $45,000 hit you so fast that your head will spin. That's what I've heard.
Amen. Amen. I receive
All
it.
right. In the name of Jesus. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Crazy Carla's Concoctions. Peace.
That's my girl right there.
book bag on the floor.